and I'm just going to get us started then, okay? So if you can just bear with us a couple of more minutes there, it'd be great. Okay, I'm going to get us kicked off because from my side, it looks like actually everyone is joined the audio as well. So first of all, my name is Nasa O'Connor. I'm the International Recruitment Manager here for the College of Science, Engineering and Food Science. And it's a huge welcome for you here today. All the students who are invited are offer holders. We have people from across Ireland, the EU, and right across various international regions as well, okay? So just a little bit of housekeeping before we get started. I'd really appreciate if everyone could keep their cameras off and their audio on mute just while the speakers are talking, just for bandwidth and so everyone can hear everyone easily. And I also want to notify that everyone that this meeting is being recorded. So just as an FYI with that as well, because we want to circulate to students who might have missed it today. Also, if you have any technical difficulty, Jean O'Callaghan is available in the chat and she will be able to help you. Towards the end of the session today, we're hoping to get through some questions, but we will be circulating a lot of answers to any questions that come in after this as well, okay? So first of all, I suppose I'll run through the agenda in a couple of minutes, but first of all, to kick things off, I'd like to pass over to the leader or head of College of Science, Engineering and Food Science, Professor Sarah Culloty, because she wants to take this opportunity to, I suppose, welcome you here and thank you for your interest in UCC and SEFS. Now, Sarah.
Thanks so much, Nessa, and good afternoon, everybody. It's lovely to be with you today, even though it's virtually, and it's lovely to have an opportunity to say hello to you all from UCC. And I'm on the campus today, a very quiet campus, and I suppose we are really looking forward to hopefully seeing you on the campus in September. And I suppose in the first instance, I would say while our current situation, being online, having to communicate and connect like this is quite challenging, it also does give us an opportunity to reach out and have this session today where we can connect with all our potential new postgraduates from Ireland, Europe and globally, and have you all together in a virtual room. And hopefully before long, you'll be in a real room and you'll have an opportunity to meet each other and share all your experiences of your time in UCC. I know this has been a time of great uncertainty for you, and making a decision about postgraduate studies is a challenge no matter what the circumstances. It's particularly challenging at the moment. So I want to just say a huge thank you that you have decided to take your postgraduate studies at University College Cork and in the College of Science, Engineering and Food Science. And I hope that that decision you will see when you come and start studying with us was the right decision. I would say that STEM, Science, Technology, Engineering and Maths at University College Cork is one of our premier offerings. This is what we do really well here at UCC. And I suppose in terms of the university and in terms of how we measure our impact, STEM is really the leader in terms of how we measure a lot of our impact in the university. What you're going to find when you come to University College Cork, when you come to study STEM, is that you are going to be taught by not just academics and lecturers, but scientists, engineers, active researchers who are actually primary researchers in their fields, who have a reputation not just in Ireland, but internationally in their field. And when they're not teaching, they're doing their research. And what that allows us to do is have very active, dynamic programs that are really informed by the most recent research. And as part of your postgraduate studies, you will have an opportunity to get the insights into the most recent studies in your field and in the most recent research, and hopefully be part of that as well. So I would say you are coming to a very dynamic, active, energetic, agile college where active research informs our programs and where you will be getting the attributes and skills that will make you, very employable in the workplace, not just the current workplace, but the workplace of the future as well. And we know that STEM is an incredibly agile and ever-evolving area, that you need to be able to pivot and be able to change and be able to respond to those changes. And we will hopefully give you the attributes and skills to allow you to do that. We've seen over the last year in particular how important STEM is. And when you come to UCC, you'll see the value of STEM, not just within the university, but regionally and nationally. You'll come to a region where there is a huge emphasis on STEM-focused industry. International companies are based here in the region. And what you'll also hopefully get exposure to is that our STEM graduates are not just valued employees of those industries, but they're actually leaders. And there are many, many examples of where our graduates have gone on post their education in UCC, not just to work nationally and internationally, but to provide key leadership in some of the biggest companies in the world. We're looking forward to supporting you on the next stage of your journey and your career. And I'm hoping that we'll be in a position in September to welcome you here to UCC and to be in a room together, not just virtually, but really, and to be able to talk to you and meet you and allow you all to interact. We want to make sure that we will provide you with the key attributes and skills to support you on your career journey. And I'm really looking forward to meeting you very soon here at UCC. Thank you very much.
Perfect. Thanks a million, Sarah. Really appreciate your time today. I know there's a lot going on at a college and university level to get everything ready for the students for September. So we really appreciate you coming on today. So I'm just going to move on to another couple, I suppose, points on the agenda. I'm just going to share my screen, perhaps. Ruth, if you could just maybe confirm to me if you can get a chance there, or somebody, and that you can see my screen and everything's okay.
Yeah, that's working perfectly.
Perfect. Thank you very much. So obviously we've had our welcome from our leader, Professor Sarah Culloty. I'm just going to discuss a little about some of the FAQs and the questions that I'm getting from students and what's about the reopening. We have some industry overview from, let's say, Larissa is going to come on and talk about Campus Connect and her student experience. We have industry overview from one of our industry experts, PepsiCo, Sinead O'Dwyer. And we also have some industry insights from Berkley Group, one of the leading recruitment companies here in Munster and in Ireland. Tony Tynan is going to talk to you from there. I also want to give you a little bit of advice about the Ucc Career Services and what they offer to our students, because it's a huge piece in starting out your journey here. And a lot of students maybe don't realise until a couple of months in exactly how much support is waiting for you in this area, okay? And also just to flag, I know we've lots of different students from different locations today, from Ireland, from EU. So if you're from India or from China, I just wanted to introduce some of my colleagues who are in country. So maybe if you had some of those questions, I suppose, with, for example, if you had some of the questions with, let's say, regards to a time zone, you're struggling to maybe get to someone, talk to someone you see at the time that suits you, just that you know you have people that you can talk to as well, okay? So I suppose, first of all, moving on here, just straight away, this is the FAQ page, okay? This is going to be shared in the link there by Ruth. I want everyone who's an offer holder to please bookmark this page, save it for yourself. This is being regularly updated on a weekly basis. If there is anything you need to know about the academic year, you will be able to find it here, okay? So just please, there's so many answers on this, and you might need to be reaching out, or something you might be just worried about, the answer could already be here. There's everything from travel advice to the learning and teaching to health advice, and highlighting some of the supports that we have in place. So please do bookmark that link, okay? So just some of the key takeaways that are listed. Obviously for postgraduate and masters, we have a start date of the 13th of September. We do have flexibility. We understand how challenging these years are if you are arriving late. If you are arriving late though, there is a late arrivals form that you will need to fill out, okay? There's also a passenger locator form to be filled out, which would be circulated to all offer holders coming in from, I suppose, international locations as well. Just another key point. There is two different scenarios at the moment, okay? One is, I suppose, if you're traveling prior to July 19th, and one is if you're traveling after July 19th. Today on this webinar, I'm just going to be discussing what's going to happen if you're actually traveling after July 19th, because based on a recent survey, about 95% of any students coming in, it's going to be after this point. But if you are coming in, there is information on the FAQ page about this. Now, one key thing, I suppose, and you've heard from Sarah and you've heard from different people today, we are really prioritizing the support we were putting in place for you, okay? And that's right away from finding out where you're coming into, and also at transitions in programs, so that if you do have to self-quarantine when you arrive, that there's a huge amount of activities where you can learn about campus life, the college, societies, clubs, and really get immersed from, I suppose, at home if that's the situation that has to happen, okay? So this is a broad overview. Again, this is all in the FAQ, so I'm just only directing this briefly to you so that you know more information is there, okay? So this is an overview of measures for inbound travel from July 19th. Again, it's listed on the FAQ page, and any updates to this, that's why I'm asking you if you're coming in to bookmark this page, okay? It depends on if you're traveling from the EU, which I know some of you are, or from outside the EU, okay? From outside the EU, from July 19th, Ireland will be following the EU protocol, which is based on an emergency break being initiated from a specific country or not. And an emergency break will be initiated from a country dependent on, I suppose, if there's a variant of huge concern or if there's a huge increase in cases. So the government and the EU have worked out plans and scenarios based on an emergency break being initiated as well. So bear with me just for another 2 slides. I know to some of you this might be a little bit boring, but I know I'm getting a lot of questions on it, so I just want to cover off it today, okay? So scenario 1 is your journey originating from a country which the EU has not applied an emergency break, okay? So the passenger, if they have valid proof of a vaccination, there's no travel-related testing or quarantine will be necessary. And that's what the situation is right now, okay? So if the passenger does not have valid proof of vaccination, they will need to present evidence of a negative PCR test within 72 hours prior to arrival in the country, self-quarantine, and undergo post-arrival testing. This post-arrival testing will be provided by our health service, and for a lot of the cases, you will not have to wait, let's say, full 14 days after arriving. You will be able to maybe be in an opportunity to go and get tested. Typically, they're saying about 5 days after arriving, okay? Scenario 2 is based, again, after July 19th, if a country, if the emergency break has been applied to a country, okay? So again, you have 2 different scenarios here again. If you're in a situation where you have valid proof of vaccine, you have to produce a negative result from the PCR taken. It's very similar to the last scenario, okay? Undergo self-quarantine and the post-arrival testing, again, timing around 5 or 6 days after arrival. If you do not have valid proof of vaccination, you will need to provide evidence of the PCR test, undergo mandatory hotel quarantine, and undergo post-arrival testing. So it's very clear here, as you can see, there's 2 different scenarios, and out of the 4 different situations in these 2 scenarios, there's only one that really requires undergo hotel quarantine, and it's for people who do not have the valid proof of vaccination, where a country where the emergency break has been applied. Now, one thing I just want to flag to you is please keep looking at the FAQ page if you're an international student, or if you're in the EU and coming in, just it's most up to date. You know, if any of these situation changes, all the information is going to be there. I just want to flag you that all this information is there. You don't have to worry about it. It is readily available on our website, okay? Reopening plans. As Sarah said, we are really excited to welcome people back on campus as much as possible. I suppose you can see there's been a lot of, like, I suppose, links in the news about how much, I suppose, Irish universities are working to that returning campus, and the work from our staff and our academic staff and our admin staff is non-stop at the moment to make sure that we are prepared for a safe arrival, but also that room capacity is worked out so that you can have, for example, for your labs and your smaller groups and your tutorials, you can have as much face-to-face learning as possible. We are prioritizing that as much as possible, and while at the same time prioritizing your safety and the safety of our staff as well. Okay, and one of the projects that's actually undergoing at the moment is a whole on-site kind of COVID antigen testing survey, which is being run during the summer, that could be possibly up and running for, you know, the students for next year, and a number of Irish universities are undertaking that. Okay. So look, I know I've covered a lot about signing the FAQs and some of the information, but again, you're going to be given my email, you're going to be given the international office email, the FAQ page. Please, if there's anything that you are worried about, I really want you to get in touch with me. I'll provide it there in the chat box in a couple of minutes. And I suppose, I know a number of you might have applied for the university, so I just want to touch on some of the key points about UCC and studying STEM here, and why UCC. Okay, so I suppose as STEM students, sustainability, climate change, and the green ethos is hugely important to our College of Science, Engineering and Food Science, but also to our university. Okay, it's, you know, within the fabric of our university. We were the first university globally to be awarded a green flag. We are a research-led education. Again, as a STEM student, this is so important that you know that you're learning off staff who are at the top of their game, research and innovation wise, okay? And Sarah has touched on this as well. And global citizenship, okay? We really value equality and diversity here in our university. And that's something that no matter where you're coming from or your background, that, you know, you can really feel immersed in our community of the university community. So one point that I wanted to point out is I was an international student when I was at UCC. I studied actually geology, and I went abroad for a year to the University of Montana. And when I arrived to the University of Montana, I didn't actually know what the campus looked like, so I was quite surprised. So I think it's kind of nice to have a quick overview on your head where you're arriving into, if you're coming from Europe or from overseas. So you can see we're really, I suppose, a huge selling point is how close we are to the city centre, how easy it is to get over to the sports arena at the top right, get back in time for a lab or a lecture that you have. So really that kind of city feel, but you can see how beautiful and green our campus is. And obviously the quadrangle is virtually my virtual picture today behind me. I promise I'm not standing on site today. And another key selling point, I think, no matter where you come from or what you're studying, okay, student experience and student life is so important. And actually I must update this slide because we were announced to have won the best student experience last year and again awarded this for this year. So what I mean by that is there's over 50 different sports clubs, over 100 different societies. Okay, so even if you were immersed into, let's say, a course like data science or electrical engineering, you can have an opportunity to get to know so many people in the wider community and join different societies right across the board. So from the Harry Potter Society to the Science Society, right across to the Debating Society. So no matter what you're interested in, it's an amazing university to be part of, okay? Another key point, and I think this is so important for so many reasons, and never has this been highlighted more than this year, and COVID and the challenges that staff and students face, is the amount of student support available to students right across the board, from the Language Centre, the International Office, the Student Health and Wellbeing, Student Life, the societies, the community, right across the board. There's so many dedicated areas, okay? And if you're ever worried about something, you know, it's not just your academic staff that can help you. There's so much out here in the university to support you and look after you. And today, one of those pieces that I really want to highlight, which I think is an amazing service, is the career services, right across the board, from interview prep to networking events. So the supports you get while you're in UCC and as you graduate as well, it's an amazing support, okay? I suppose I'm going to finish up quite soon because I'm really conscious that I really want you to hear more about the job opportunities in Cork and Ireland, and I also want you to hear about the career services as well. And I'm conscious not to keep people too long in the world of virtual fatigue. But just to finish up, why study STEM here? Okay, we are the #1 university for industry engagement. We are the #1 university for research income in Ireland. We have over 24 different STEM research institutes and centres. We were the world's first university for a green flag, and we are located at the centre of biotechnology here in Cork and also across Ireland. There's so much IT and tech companies that industry is thriving as well. So huge career opportunities as well. One of the key pieces as well, you've heard from our leader, Sarah, but I feel is a huge selling point from both staff and student purposes is the STEM community, okay? They are supportive right from the get-go, from the admin staff and the different schools that you'll be a part of, to the support staff, but to the academic staff. I'm still in touch with some of my lecturers. I know I'm working here now, so it's a little bit different, but honestly, throughout my career, they're a great, I suppose, voice of reason and advice about different directions that I took, okay? So look, just if you can, I'm just going to, Ruth, if you don't mind, just to pop in the contact details, please here, there's the international office. If you're an EU or domestic student, Ruth is here as well to support you. I'm here to look after you from an international perspective as well. If you're based in India, Vaidehi will happily, give you any advice. I'll be introducing Vaidehi, Lillian and Aoife later on, just to say a quick hello as well. There's a lot of information about accommodation as well. I know I've received some questions. So I suppose just to move on to the next speaker, I just want to make sure you're there, Larissa. So Larissa is a PhD student here in UCC. She actually studied geology as well. So I'm obviously a little bit biased to look after her. And Larissa is an ambassador for Campus Connect. And some of you who are international students would have recently received an email about this, which is inviting you to download the app, okay? And it's basically a chance to get to talk to other students, other ambassadors, other off holders and alumni. So I'm just going to pass over to Larissa briefly, just to touch on Campus Connect and maybe give you, if you can, Larissa, just a quick overview of your experience here in UCC as well, okay?
Okay, great. Thank you, Nessa. Thank you for inviting me today. It's great to be here. And guys, I hope you're doing well. It's very exciting to be holding an offer from UCC and starting this new journey. So I'd like to welcome you to UCC. So as you know, my name is Larissa Oliveira. I am from Brazil. I am a PhD student in geology at the School of Bees here in UCC. I'm currently developing research, marine geology and seabed habitat mapping here in Ireland. I can be a bit biased to say, but like seabed, actually marine geology, it's a very good area here in Ireland because the marine territory here is actually 10 times larger than the land mass. So like we have a lot to explore. And in my PhD, I'm actually using new techniques to map and monitor the environments that we have here in Ireland, especially the Cold War coral environments. Like some of you might not know, but like Cold War corals, they're very important ecosystems, and they happen not only in tropical areas, but they also happen in low temperature areas like the offshore of Ireland. So it's very important to map them, and that's what I'm doing on my PhD. I'm using new techniques, especially computer vision techniques, to find the best way to identify them, and so we can actually monitor these environments and see how they grow through time, and then create better conservation policies, for example. And my journey here in UCC actually started in 2015. I did 1 year of my undergrad in geology. I was part of the Science Without Borders program, which is a joint program between Brazil and Ireland and other countries as well. So that's when my journey in UCC started. I had a great experience there, and then that's why I'm here today, because I think UCC is a very good university, and I'm happy to welcome you to this environment as well. And I think my journey in UCC actually made me realize that I wanted to follow research. At the time, because of the way that the system works here. So you're much more independent as a student. The lecturers actually trust you, and they have this idea that you are able and totally capable of developing your best potential, and they offer you great support as well, which is great. So yeah, I felt welcomed here since day one as an international student. UCC has a very, very active campus environment, as Nessa has mentioned before. There's so many societies and clubs that you can join, and that's like the most fun part. Of course, with COVID, things have changed a little bit, but I'm very excited to go back to the campus life as we had before, if we're able to, at least this year. And that's why I wanted to join the UCC Campus Connect initiative as a student ambassador, because I believe that the opportunity of actually engaging with other people through an online app is very good. I wish I had that when I was a student in 2015. And I think that you guys that are starting now should take on this opportunity as a way to connect with your peers, connect with your colleagues, ask a lot of questions about, not only about just the admin part, but also about housing, about the modules you want to take, anything you can ask in the app. So, and we are there to help you. We're there as ambassadors, and all your colleagues can help you as well. So it's a great opportunity for that. Like, I think you guys should take advantage of this platform. And I think if you do, it's going to be great for you as your academic career as well. And yeah, I think that's it really. And probably for if I want to give some advices to you to start in UCC, I'd say that the best thing to do as a student here is to get involved as much as you can. So try to discover your potential, try to discover what you want to do, what you like, join clubs and societies, and they can help you to actually discover what you like. And also, like, reach out to your peers as well, to your supervisors. If you have any doubts or anything, the best thing to do is to share that and reach out to people that can actually help you. There is a great team to do that for you. And also enjoy the campus life. As Nessa said, like, the campus is amazing. It's close to the city as well. So like it's a walking distance to everything. And so like you can enjoy, for example, the Mardijk, which is amazing, and all the other buildings, which are great. They're beautiful. So every time you go into campus is actually a walk, and a touristic walk, let's say. And yeah, in terms of Ireland, I'd say it's a great country. Get a rain jacket, a very good one, because the weather can surprise you, but that's also fun. And enjoy your time here, and I think it's gonna be amazing. I know your guys probably are very excited to travel here and to come here, but also make sure to take some time during this next few months to enjoy your family as well, enjoy your country, eat your favorite foods, spend time with your friends, because when you arrive in Ireland, you're gonna think, like, you're gonna feel that everything is new. It's a great, like, opportunity to grow as well. So enjoy everything that you can back home and also here when you arrive. So that's it. And I hope to see you in the app. I hope to meet you there as well. And hopefully we can bump into each other in the campus.
Thanks, Larissa. Great advice. I'm always laughing. You and me are always talking about a rain jacket for some reason, but it is probably the best advice you'll get. Even if you are from Ireland and you're on the call. So thanks a million, Larissa. I'm just going to pass over to Sinead Dwyer from PepsiCo. But Sinead, I know you're having some issues earlier, so I'm not sure. I'm just trying to see if you're still on the call or if you were able to get through today. I know there was just
on the call. Can you hear me, Nessa?
Yeah, I can, Sinead.
Okay,
yeah.
super. Great.
I just said I'd check with you just in case. Hey, who are you? And delighted you got sorted. So just sorry to give you an intro. I said I better check if you're on first.
Sure.
So Sinead Dwyer is one of the talent acquisition managers here with PepsiCo. So I suppose a big global multinational company based just outside the Cork city. So she's just going to give I suppose some insights into from her side of things, from industry and the job opportunities, and maybe a little bit of advice for any students that you have as well, Sinead, would be great. Okay.
Super. Thanks a million, Nessa. Hello, everybody. Hope you're all doing well today. So yeah, I'm delighted, I suppose, to be here on behalf of Pepsi, but I'm also delighted to speak to you with UCC. I suppose, as Nessa has said, I'm on the TA team, so that's our talent acquisition team for Pepsi, and I'm the manager there of a team of 5. And with Pepsi for the last year and a half. I know Tony's going to touch on recruitment after me, and I actually worked with Tony in a former life, but I'm recruitment for the last 10 years. And so I feel like I know Cork quite well, know the Cork employment market, and it definitely is one of the busiest landscapes that you could be in, right? Especially in STEM. STEM in the last, I think 2 to 3 years has really even intensified, I guess, in the opportunities that are there. And that's why not just Pepsi, but there's so many international companies located here in Cork, the likes of Pfizer and Apple and Dell EMC. So the market itself is really positive, and it's actually really exciting time, I suppose, to be involved. I suppose Pepsi ourselves, and to give you an idea of what we're up to, I assume most of you are familiar with Pepsi in terms of the drink, right? We would have hundreds of other brands beyond the PepsiCo, the likes of your 7-Up, your Lay's, your Walkers, your Quakers, are all Pepsi's brand. And we're lucky that it is internationally recognized. So our brands are consumed over 1 billion times every day across the globe. So that international recognition is a great thing actually about working in Pepsi, because I suppose, you know, on your CV in a future life, you'll have that instant, you'd like to think instant brand recognition. People may not like the brand, or they may not consume the brand, but they'll know the brand, which makes it easy from a job opportunity point, I suppose. Mainly just to give you an idea of Cork and our locations here in Cork, I suppose we have 3 different sites in Cork, and we're part of the PepsiCo Global Concentrated Solutions. So that's an arm of Pepsi, and really is founded on the STEM subject. So your science, your quality, your engineering. It's where we manufacture our concentrate. So our ingredient that goes into all our minerals is manufactured here in Cork. And those who are familiar with Cork, is just outside there in Carrigaline, and also in Little Island. We've 2, and also our head office is in Little Island as well, in Eastgate. We employ around 1,100 across the globe, and of those, about 800 are employed here in Cork. So we have 13 locations internationally for the PGCS business, which is a global concentrate business, as I said, and they're in 9 different countries. So that's a great thing, right, about working in Pepsi, is that you're automatically, you know, supporting different sites, especially in the likes of your science roles or your engineering type roles, because you may be working with a group who are on site over in Chano, or maybe they're on site in Uruguay or China. So you have that international reach straight away. And that's a good thing, not just about Pepsi, but a lot of the international companies here in Cork, they have that global reach, I suppose. Otherwise, within, I suppose, kind of career opportunities for those in STEM and who we're employing, we last year employed around 150 people here in Cork. So that really large numbers, and around 70 of those were across your operations side of things. So those in engineering, those in R&D, which is our research and development facility, where we do all new product development, those in quality, our data analytics team. So it really is across the board. You'll find that people come to PepsiCo with one career aspiration and end up, you know, 5-6 years later in something totally different. A lot of people are crossing over so frequently with operations that where you may start in the lab, you certainly could end up on the factory floor, right? So it is a great kind of round experience that you'll get. Particularly for yourselves, we have a graduate program, and we have an intern program as well, which we do every year, partner with UCC on. So to speak of our intern program, and it may or may not be applicable for those in masters, but it's a 6 to 9 month stint that you would do with ourselves in one of our 3 locations here. And you'd be just working alongside and having a fully fledged job. So 6 to 9 months, and putting that experience that you're learning about in UCC into, I suppose, into practice here with us in Pepsi. And then we also have the grad program. So that's a 2-year graduate program that is suitable for those who are finished their masters or who are finishing an undergrad and want to gain full-time employment. So it's a 2-year contract that we offer, and you'll rotate. So you may go into the lab as a lab analyst for the first 12 months, and then in the second 12 you go into the R&D organization, and, you know, maybe work in a new product development team. So there's a chance to go across the function there as well. And afterwards, then we'd hope to offer you, you know, a permanent role where it's applicable. It could be in Cork or it could be international as well, depending on your preferences. And it's up to you really to control your career as to where you want to go. And if you are open to international, that opportunity is there for you as well. I suppose just in particular in terms of STEM again and kind of the projects that we're doing, PepsiCo are always doing projects. So it is really keeping us busy in TA, and that's one of the reasons why we've hired so many people over the last 12 months, even though COVID has been at play, it hasn't slowed us down. So the key projects that you would be involved in as somebody who's coming from the engineering or the science or the quality space, I suppose, or the IT, is we have sugar reduction project. So looking at reducing our calories and our sugar across all our products. So it's really, I suppose, in the market at the moment, and that's something that's constantly at play for us. We have a digital factory, so that's kind of leaning towards your IT, your engineering space, looking at how we can automate our factory floor where we are manufacturing the concentrate and taking that manual process to really automate our process. And that needs everyone involved, right? That needs the guys who work in ingredients as well as, you know, the girls up in the factory, all involved in that side of things. And then with a network capacity project where really is being led by the engineering group, but again, everyone is involved because network capacity is at the forefront because of COVID. And I suppose we are changing around how things are done. And this is not just in PepsiCo Cork, but in global as well. So it could be as much as, you know, how many people on the site, or, you know, how many extra products can we produce, right, if we up our intake. So it's all to do with the engineering group on that side. So you'll have that experience from a project perspective of working, you know, remotely with I think we're all used to working remotely over the last 12 months, but it's okay, how do you work with teams internationally, you know, and different, I suppose, different cultures, different ways of doing work. So there's a great learning experience to be got from that international base of experience, I guess. But I'm conscious I'm kind of giving you a whistle stop there. I am happy to answer any questions at any stage as well.
Perfect. Thanks a million, Sinead. I'm delighted you got on. So it's great to hear about, I suppose, the range of projects and the range of opportunities and how multidisciplinary it is as well from your perspective as well as a career to go into. So I think next up, Sinead will be there. If you have any particular questions or anything like that, pop them into the chat, or you can even email it to me and I can send them on to Sinead afterwards. There's no problem. So Tony, I just can't see you on my screen here now. So just to make sure that you're still there. And we're all good. So just to introduce Tony Tynan, he works with Berkley Group. They're one of the Ireland leading European, I suppose, recruitment companies. So just to give you an insights into kind of job opportunities across Ireland and across the field of STEM, because I know today, Tony, we have people right across the board from engineering to food science and to, I suppose, computer science. So it's kind of everything and anything here today.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Nessa. Thanks for the introduction. My own name is Tony Tynan. I just quickly say hello to Sinead. Just a quick story myself. Sinead started recruitment 10 years ago. So Sinead, great to see you there today and great insights there from the PepsiCo brand. I suppose from my side, everyone, just wanted to give you an insight and looking at your journey in the next few years, maybe 3 to 4 years in terms of the opportunities that lie ahead, and potentially routes of entry that you can gain into the life science and indeed coming from the STEM research, you know. Just touching upon, just before I kick off, just something that Sarah quite rightly said, and I think looking at September, I think a lot of the STEM programs and the graduate programs that you will be going on are industry led. I suppose the exciting thing really is a lot of the, you know, the life science companies and biopharma companies would set up a lot of these programs in association with industry, you know. So definitely is industry led, which is exciting things for you. So just giving a look at, I suppose, down the line in terms of where potential routes of entries may lie and the opportunities that lie within the sectors really, which you're probably interested coming from my side. So right now in the Ireland life science and food sectors, it's 50,000 people are employed in the life science sector across medical device, pharma and biopharma from year courses. So we have 9 of the 10 biggest pharmaceutical companies here in Ireland. And a lot of these pharma companies would be, you know, utilizing a lot of the research in terms of these STEM programs and year university programs right now, which is interesting for you to hear. So we have 160,000 or 160 plus medical technology companies in Ireland, should I say. And in 2020, 40% of all Irish exports came from the medical and pharmaceutical sector. So we've huge opportunities in short right now. And I think, you know, it is an exciting time, as Sinead alluded to there, for, I suppose, prospective graduates and for you guys coming out of the STEM programs in UCC, you know. The opportunity, as we can see, is coming from the vaccines and biotechnology. And I think, you know, from the food sectors with the likes of PepsiCo, there is huge opportunities for you in terms of your careers after college. So if we look at right now, in terms of the life science sector, we have 15,000 people working in the life science sector in Cork. So eight of these 15 are the world biggest life science companies are even based in Cork. So I know you'll be studying in Cork, and it's great to hear that you'll be, you know, back on campus in September. So I think it's a chance, as Larissa said, maybe to look at the infrastructure and the networks here, and look at potential routes of entry, or potentially even companies where will provide your career after your college research. So numerous leaders here in the medtech as well, including Tqui in Boston and Stryker, and indeed we've many innovative food production companies here, including PepsiCo, Dairygold, Carby and Glanbia. I've just mentioned the food production side because I think, as Sinead mentioned, I think a lot of the industry experts are looking, you know, to bring people from the graduate programs and bring people straight from the universities, you know. And I think, as Sinead said, it's a great chance for you to start a career in a global organization, start here locally, and indeed sometimes even end up with a global opportunity, you know, starting here in Cork. So what can you do in terms of right now? It's, I think Larissa mentioned, it's maybe looking at your course contents. It's looking at potential areas of interest from your current courses and where you'll be studying, and maybe even, you know, visualizing or picturing yourselves where you feel best placed in industry. It can be daunting, but I think once you start your study and start your research, and indeed what I found is you'll find your core interest in your areas of expertise, and I think it's from there maximizing your potential, you know. But you're not on your own. I think, as Nessa mentioned, you know, through, you know, the career services and the campus guidelines, you know, you can do a lot of work now and within your courses to kind of future-proof yourself really for when you need to go into, you know, the market to find an opportunity for your further career. So as well as that, and I'd like to get the opportunity today, just, you know, to maybe even, you know, lend our hand here in Berkeley in terms of where we can support your future career. You know, the journey starts maybe in September, but, you know, you can future-proof yourself now in terms of looking ahead, in terms of what you need to do to prepare yourself, you know, whether that's from a CV preparation or even looking at relocating to Ireland or relocating to Cork, and in terms of what we can do. Here in Berkeley, we provide a lot of services, you know, within our website in terms of these areas where we can help. And I would also recommend, even, you know, next year, maybe to reach out to a consultant within the Berkley Group that maybe help on your career path. So like what Sinead said, if there's any questions from a career side that we can, you know, help or even help you with, or even if it's in industry insight, or you're looking for maybe an area of insight into the industry sector, here in Berkeley, we're happy to help. And in association with the Ucc Career Services, we can help you on your journey. Thanks, Nessa.
Perfect. Thanks, Tony. Thanks a million. No, look, I mean, it's amazing that I suppose a lot of people maybe from outside Ireland would actually hear predominantly about the technology and the software companies. So it's really important to flag that there's huge opportunities across life sciences, across food, and how interdisciplinary that is, similar to the research that's happening here at UCC. So Deirdre, if you're just on now, sorry, again, I can't see you on my main screen. There's too many people here at the minute. So Deirdre, if you're just on, it'd be great just to give you, I suppose, a bit of a whistle-stop tour to UCC services and all that you do for our students.
Can you see us?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I can see you there. Perfect.
Hi, Nessa.
Hi, how are you? Welcome. You got here anyway.
Thank you. Sorry, I'm more used to Teams.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Okay. Is it okay if I share my screen with my slides as well? Okay. Thank you.
I'll just let you know that I can see it there, just to let you safe in your way when it comes up.
Perfect. Can you see it there? You can?
Just 2 seconds now. Sometimes it just takes a couple of seconds to come up there, Deirdre. On my side, I can't see it yet.
Oh, it's
now.
not up yet, Deirdre. Did you press the share screen, the green button, the share screen?
Apologies. Sorry, to go back to yes, I did. I pressed share screen, the green button.
And then there should be a blue button as well.
A blue button, okay. Screen. I'm going for screen. And then share.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, here we are.
Now,
okay.
and then do you just want to go to from beginning? Yeah.
Is that okay?
Excellent,
Perfect.
thanks.
Perfect, thanks a million. Okay, so I'm delighted to meet you all today, and I know that you're prospective incoming students to master's programs in UCC. And my name is Deirdre Parker. I'm one of the career consultants at Ucc Career Services. And Ucc Career Services consists of a range of teams and individuals who are there to support you on your way into your master's program, during your master's program, and up to a year after you graduate from your master's program as well, in terms of, you know, helping you to achieve your career goals. I want to just point you to a couple of different career supports that I think would be useful for you to avail of. And I do think, you know, I understand that a lot of you are undertaking a master's program in UCC to achieve particular career goals. Usually when somebody's undertaking a postgraduate program, it's very often to help you either, you know, move from one career area into another, or to, you know, advance in some way in terms of your career. And so it's really good to start early in relation to that. And that's why I'm so delighted to be able to meet you today. So the kind of things that you can avail of in the career service while you're a student and up to a year after you graduate would be, for example, a one-to-one session with a career consultant, usually 30 minutes in duration. And you can decide to use that discussion to focus on whatever it is that you would like to focus on. And I'd encourage you to do that. But there are other things that I'd encourage you to do before you even get to that stage, so you can be more prepared and ready for that. Also, I suppose one of the things you need to be ready for if you are coming into a master's in UCC is how quickly everything will happen, because usually the recruitment fair that we run in UCC, which last year was one of the most well attended in Europe, it takes place early in October, and this year it's going to take place on the 6th of October. So last year there were well over 100 of the major graduate employers at this fair, which happened virtually. So you want to be ready for that and make sure you've researched the relevant employers and that you are ready in terms of your CV, your online presence, and your ability to engage at that particular fair. And also there'll be a whole range of graduate recruitment deadlines that will happen as well in October and sometimes November, but there's a lot of them will have early deadlines. The very large companies, the most sought after companies and popular graduate programs can often have a deadline in October or November. So you need to be ready for that very, very quickly. And so that's why it's so important for you to start early in terms of getting ready for that. And also in the career service, we can help you with a number of online tools that might be useful to you as well, which I'll go through with you. And also you'll be able to avail of meetings with consultants who work particularly with your college and are quite up to date on the opportunities that are relevant for your college and your particular class. We also have tools on our website that can help you to self-reflect in terms of, you know, where you're going in your career. And that's under a page called Profiling for Success. And that will help you get a sense of maybe what your career interests are and what careers might be of most interest to you in terms of the skills you want to be using every day, and the areas you want to work in, what your values are, and the kind of person you are, getting an appreciation of that as well, which can be very empowering when you're getting ready to look at jobs. And also it's possible on our website to register and book one-to-one consultations, and also to register to attend virtual events. It's likely that a lot of our events will happen virtually as well this year, or even if they're happening live, it will be possible for you to attend virtually, because we found that worked really well last year, and it's more convenient for students to be able to log in at their laptop in their home or their own chosen location, as opposed to having to travel to an event. So a lot of our events next year are going to be virtual, and you can book your place online and engage with the speakers. We'll have a whole series of employers in every single week from the beginning of term onwards. Every single evening there'll be some company coming in to meet with students, and so it's really, really important for you to attend those, because one of the things you need to be mindful of when you're coming over to Ireland is that there are fantastic career opportunities. There's also a high level of competition for those opportunities. And one of the ways that you will be more successful in that competition is if you increase your visibility to employers. So if you go along to employer-led events where they're talking about their opportunities, it's a chance for you to be seen by employers and directly engage with them. Maybe think of good questions you want to ask them by the end, and make sure you are visible in that those employer-led presentations, as well as the fair. There'll be a whole series of events happening, and I'd encourage you to follow us on social media now to get an understanding of the kind of things that we run. The other thing is we recently ran a series of talks for the College of Science, Engineering and Food Science, and it was called STEM Week, and it happened at the end of May. And we had a number of industry experts come in and talk about the opportunities in their industry. And those were actually recorded on video, and the videos are actually available on a publicly available Panopto folder, and I've included the link in this presentation. So we ran a number of events, and the industry speakers were happy to make their presentations publicly available, and so you can access them at that Panopto link. And so if you're interested in maybe finding out about what opportunities are in the biopharma sector that might be relevant to me, in the IT sector, we'd actually somebody from Berkley Recruitment for the IT one, deep tech, what's that all about, deep tech research, health and med tech, what kind of opportunities are in that sector, what about food, environment, those kinds of areas, then you can go along to that Panopto folder and see those videos, and they can be really helpful for you as well to orient yourself in the particular sector that you like to work in. So I'd strongly recommend you as well, if you're thinking of coming to Ireland, and obviously you are, and undertaking this master's program, that you research the sector and find out like what's going on in the sector, what are the skill shortage areas, how is it developing, what kind of licensing or programs or courses are recommended for that sector, you know, what kind of experience or skills do they really value, and those videos can help. And then who are the main employers within this particular sector, and you know, what can I do to even connect with people who work in that particular company, and who do I need to be really make sure that I can engage with at the fair and things like that. So, you know, it's good to start that homework now. Another thing that I strongly recommend you to do is to go to this openly available online guide for international students. And there are sections up there called Build Your Career in Ireland, for example, winning CVs and cover letters, and Excel and online and offline assessments. And I'd encourage you to go to this publicly available website and start looking at those. The Build Your Career in Ireland one is going to be updated this year with 2021 information. But it's a good place for you to go and find out where are the skill shortages in Ireland, what kinds of companies might offer hosting agreements, like what's considered a research-led organisation where I might get research roles. They're not just research centres or universities, you might be surprised to find out. And then what kinds of permit schemes are available in areas where there are skill shortages. What kind of areas are actually just ineligible for work permits. So it's a good place to kind of research yourself on the overall job market, so you understand what's feasible and possible in Ireland, and what's going to be, you know, good areas for you to focus on in terms of finding long-term employment opportunities. Another thing that I want to make you aware of is the fact that we have a tool called the Big Interview, which is really, really useful in terms of interview preparation. It consists of a lot of e-learning focused on interview preparation, and also practice interview tools, virtual interview tools, where you can actually practice answering interview questions that are relevant to particular roles at any time, 24/7, and get feedback even on your answers 24/7. So these kinds of tools can be really, really valuable in getting you ready to talking about yourself and answering, you know, key interview questions, because as I said, the whole process will start quite early when you start your master's program. And there's a lot of really interesting learning up there. There's a job search curriculum, which will be really useful for you in terms of getting ready for the job search. There's even some training on how to do an informational interview. And an informational interview is a really useful thing for you to even start doing now, virtually. You know, just having good discussions with people who are maybe from a similar background as your own, and they're now working in Ireland in a career or a company that you'd like to work in. There's things like the resume curriculum, like getting your CV ready. And those kinds of e-learning modules are really, really useful. As well as a practice tool, which allows you to actually see yourself answering interview questions, which is probably the best practice you can get. We also have a career set tool, and this is going to be particularly relevant for you. So this allows you to get some feedback on your CV in terms of where it is now, anytime, 24/7. And it gives you feedback on how it could have more impact. You know, how maybe the length should be adjusted, how the writing style might need to be adjusted, how the language might need to be adjusted, and the content might need to be adjusted. And you can access this tool 24/7. So these are really, really valuable tools that you can only access with your UCC login. And they're really, really powerful, especially at the beginning of the year in terms of getting ready for the whole job search process. And as I mentioned already, the Recruitment Fair will be happening on the 6th of October. And you really want to make sure that you've researched, you know, your sectors, you know, what companies are going to be there that you really want to engage with, because it's a great opportunity for you to increase your visibility to companies, you know, if you do your homework properly. And there'll be a pre-fair presentation as well, helping you to get ready for the fair in terms of the kind of profile information you want to include, because you'll be, you know, uploading a profile on the platform. And what are good questions to ask employers, and you know, how to engage well with employers in a way that will help you in your job search. So the whole process starts early. So I strongly encourage you to make use of the Transitions In program now. And as soon as you have access to the Big Interview tool and the Career Set tool, I'd encourage you to use those also. And definitely start thinking strategically in terms of the kind of sectors you want to work in, and the kind of companies you want to target. And I believe that the information, the Build Your Career information on the Transitions In program will help you a lot right now in terms of getting ready for all of that. So it's lovely to have this opportunity to connect with you. We're really looking forward to meeting you when you arrive, and advising you on an individual basis. As I said, you can book a one-to-one consultation anytime you like it. You can book online, and while you're a student, and up to 12 months after you graduate as well, which can be really, really important because many of you will be staying for at least a year or two after you graduate. So it's a service that you can engage with as an alumnus as well. So I suppose that's my piece, Nessa. Thank you for the opportunity to meet with the students today.
Perfect. Thanks, Deirdre. I really appreciate it. Look, particularly we've had huge, I suppose, amazing feedback, especially about the interview tools as well. People are really getting a lot out of it already. So I suppose it's great to get an idea of some of the supports that are there for you from the get-go once you register as well and kick off the year. So just to flag, I know there was one or two, sorry, I can't kind of open the chat box at the moment when the screen is being shared. So there was one or two questions about when we get your UCC email. So registration is in August. So you will be getting your UCC email and ID, and you'll be able to access some of those career supports then just from there once you've that set up, okay? So look, I'm just going to quickly pass over. I'm very conscious of time today, guys, because I'm trying to keep it as close to the hour as we possibly can. If you do have questions, please do pop them into the chat box. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to circulate an FAQ kind of document of any questions people have with some answers. Before we do that, I'll circulate it in the next week to everyone who registered with the event. But again, Ruth, it would be great if you could just share maybe my contact details there, so that if anyone does have questions and they mightn't be comfortable to put it in the chat today, please reach out and get in touch. I'm happy to help. So just before we kind of finish up, I suppose shortly, I'd like to introduce I suppose some of our in-country support. I know we have a lot of EU and domestic students, but what I would like to do is I'd like to introduce my colleague Vaidehi. She'd be the India director. So if you are based in India and you do have any particular questions and you're there and you're looking at the right time zone to try and talk to someone in your own time zone, Vaidehi is here to support you as well. So Vaidehi, I might just quickly introduce you to say hello.
Thanks, Nasa. And like Nasa said, I think, you know, it's great that we have so many people joining us from so many time zones. So thanks, everybody. And I hope you found the session very, very useful. Keep some, you know, make some notes, I would suggest. And of course, if NASA will be circulating the recording. So if any of you have missed out on any information, do go back and look at it. In terms of obviously Indian students, because that's who I engage with, the timelines, quite simply put, you probably all find yourselves in the visa timeline right now. All are planning to apply for your visas because you're incoming students. Look, I'm here to handhold you guys. I'll be happy to help out in any way possible. We also, given the pandemic that we're faced with constantly, there are a lot of support groups out there who are willing to extend that a helping hand and help you through this. So our idea is to make sure that you safely, you know, and happily arrive at UCC, and we receive you with open arms. So look, until then, please reach out to me for any questions, roadblocks that you're faced with. But I don't want to take up too much time because I know that we want to keep it under 1 hour, but I think NASA will probably pass it along to our other colleague. But my email ID is there in the chat window, so feel free to reach out to me at any point. Thanks so much, guys.
Thanks a million, Vaidehi. So I know Lillian is joining us from Shanghai, and also Aoife is joining from the Beijing office. So if you're a Chinese student and you want to talk to someone on the timeline, because I know at the moment it's kind of either very early morning, you can talk to me, or kind of later in the evening as much as possible. So Lillian, I can see you on screen there. If you just want to say a quick hello and just to, you know, offer any support to students, really, okay?
Thanks, Nessa. Hi, everyone. It's delighted to be here connecting with you. And just to let you know, we are here to support you throughout your time in UCC in Cork. And also for the Chinese students, there are also Chinese support available if needed. So we're always here to help you. And also after you graduate from UCC, you will be also welcomed to join our lively alumni China chapter. So stay connected, and I'm sure you will have a wonderful time in UCC. So all the best, and do not hesitate to contact us for any problems, questions. Thank you.
Perfect. And I know Aoife's here from the Beijing office, so thanks Aoife for joining. Sorry, now we're flying through everyone.
Yeah, hello everyone. Yeah, I'm going to have a short greeting in Chinese with the Chinese students, and then I will continue in English, just in case everyone can understand me. So I will speak in Chinese now. 大家好，我是来自爱尔兰科克大学北京代表处的王璐老师。我们北京代表处呢是可以帮助大家解决在申请过程中的任何问题，还有签证的问题。所以如果一会儿大家有需要的话，可以联系我，或者是我们上海办公室的Lilian老师都可以。I'm now speaking in English, and hello everyone. I am Aoife Wang from the Beijing office, and we also have Lilian from Shanghai office in China, and we are here to support the Chinese students with their application for both undergraduates, postgraduates, and also the PhD student. And if you guys have any queries about the application, just do not hesitate to contact us. And also, if you have any question about the visa application, you can also contact us with us. And we also have a lot of activities here, both online and offline. For example, we have lectures from the UCC professors, and also online talk with current and previous students who will share their studies and life in UCC. And also we have next month, we have 2 pre-departure events in both Beijing and Shanghai by the Education Ireland of Irish Embassy, which is July the 6th in Beijing and July the 8th in Shanghai. And this is for all Irish school students. And also we will have a pre-departure activity on August for our own UCC students. So you can follow our social media like Weibo and WeChat account. So please pay attention to the further information. And also our office offers an English bridge course for students who is half points lower than their target English requirements, that they can get a full offer after finishing the UEBC courses, but it not works for the School of Science, I think. And yeah, so I was an international student actually of UCC, so I understand what you are thinking and what you are experiencing now. So just do not hesitate to contact me and Lilian and our office colleagues. I am here with you, and we are here with you in both China and Shanghai. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Aoife. It's great to know, I suppose, that someone, you know, has experienced something as well. I think it's a very kind of nicer way to feel welcome. So look, everyone, there's a couple of questions in the chat box. I will be circulating. Obviously, the course start date is 13th of September. Ideally, you would want to be trying to arrive prior to that. And prior to that, it would depend on your own situation, let's say, of where you're coming from, whether you have a vaccine. If you are wanting to have a quick chat with me about that in particular, just pop me an email. If you're from India, you can include Vedi. If you're from China, you can include my colleagues Lilian and Aoife, and I will just have a quick phone call with you and talk you through. Sometimes it just might be okay to have 10-15 minutes of a chat about kind of what your plan might be, and just put you at ease with the supports that are in place. Okay, and obviously, please, to everyone, please do bookmark that FAQ page, because all information about the start of the year, everything is going to be going live there with any kind of updates that need to be made as well. Okay, so look, you have a lot of information. The recording will be circulated after this, and I will circulate answers to any questions in particular from any of the I suppose, students that have come in today that we just maybe don't have time to check. Okay. The recording will be circulated to everyone who registered, and I'll also be making sure to send it to all offer holders just in case people didn't get a chance to register as well. Okay, so it'll be circulated to you. So look, thank you so much to everybody. Thank you so much to the speakers. I really appreciate your time to give an overview, I suppose, of UCC, Cork, studying in Ireland, the job opportunities, the research. It's so great to have a chance to have you all here today. If anyone is anyway comfortable to take a quick screenshot and come off camera for a minute, by all means, please do, and give us a wave. We're looking forward to welcoming you here in September. But I know not everyone is, some people can be very camera shy, so it mightn't suit you today. But yeah, you're very welcome, I suppose, welcoming you here in September, and we're looking forward to it. Please do not be a stranger. Please get in touch with anyone that is listed there today. We'll be happy to help. Okay? Perfect. Not too many people coming off camera, so I don't want to put anyone under pressure today. Looking forward to welcoming you guys, okay? Be safe and stay in touch anyway, okay?
Thanks, everybody.
I'm not sure how many times I should say goodbye to everyone.
I'll end the meeting there. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks,
Bye.
Jean.